It's Thursday, February 23, and time for your Barbados Day afternoon update. I'm Kmar Jordan. Thanks for having you along. At this hour, a decision is pending on the legal challenge brought by Central Bank Governor Dr. Worrell to plans by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair to oust him. Our Fenella Weatherburn is tracking the story for us today at the High Court. Fenella?
In a 2-hour-long address to Acting Chief Justice Sandra Husbands and Justices of Appeal Andrew Burgess and Kay Goodrich, lead attorney Gregory Nichols laid a case for the court to reinstate the interim injunction lifted by High Court Judge Governor Worrell last Friday. The embattled governor has been holding on to his post by 2 court-imposed injunctions after the minister demanded over a week ago that he either demit office or be fired. Nichols told the Justices of Appeal in the No. 1 Supreme Court this morning that the minister did not follow due process when he issued the ultimatum to his client. He argued that if the court did not maintain the injunction, then it would not only cause irreparable damage to his client's public image, but damage the integrity of the central bank and Barbados's international reputation. Following his lengthy submissions, the court broke for lunch and will resume at 2 p.m. to hear arguments from Solicitor General Jennifer Edwards, QC, who is representing the Finance Minister, on why the injunction should be dismissed. Reporting from the Supreme Court complex on Waipak Road, Fenella Weatherburn for Barbados Today.
Thanks, Fenella. Well, meantime, the ruling Democratic Labour Party is defending its decision to print money. It says it was acting in the country's interest.
The DLP General Secretary noted that the issues vented by Motley are no secret. The government, he said, of Barbados prints money, full stop. He said it was necessary for the central bank to print money in order to make up the shortfall in revenues from such taxes as corporation taxes, which he said have declined by about $200 million per year since 2009. Pilgrim told reporters the government wants money to ensure that the country's fabric and people are secured. However, he said the government has bills to pay. Pilgrim said the government should therefore not have to apologize for keeping the public servants in jobs, considering that salaries and wages translate to families and homes surviving in this society. The DLP also announced the launch of a campaign called Facts, which will be rolled out at the party's mid-year conference on March 4th at Queen's College. Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
During a press conference today at party headquarters, DLP General Secretary George Pilgrim also strongly condemned plans by the opposition Barbados Labour Party to stage a national march of disgust on March 11. Pilgrim charges that the opposition leader, Mia Motley, has alternative motives. However, leading social activist David Commission is on board with the march. However, he's warning the opposition that it will not be enough to express disgust at this stage. He insists that Barbadians must demand immediate general elections. Commission is not only blasting Prime Minister Stuart for being out of the country during the legal battle that's ongoing between the Central Bank Governor Dr. Worrell and the Finance Minister Chris Sinclair, but he says his handling of the entire matter shows that Mr. Stuart is out of touch with reality and has therefore lost the right to govern. The political activist contends that Barbados needs urgently to be freed from what he calls an utterly dysfunctional and clueless government. Well, businessman Robert Pitcher is also joining the call for immediate general elections, but he wants Prime Minister Stuart to stay out of the race. Speaking to journalists at a press briefing this morning, Mr. Pitcher charged that Mr. Stuart and his team are not acting in the best interests of Barbadians.
We have a Prime Minister who is not saying and who is not doing anything on behalf of the people. He should not only call an election right away, but he should not offer himself to come back in any form.
And political scientist Dr. George Bell has some advice for one senior government minister. Days after Dr. David Estwick publicly admitted that the DLP's economic policies have failed, Dr. Bell called on the Agriculture Minister to do more than just talk.
Yes, and it's too late now to have any other solution than a national solution at the level of the electorate speaking. So I think that he should know now that as much as he has delayed before, he cannot delay now, and therefore he should call on the Prime Minister to resign, call on the Prime Minister to call an election, call on one of his colleagues to help him to change bring the government down. So I think that is what his responsibility is now beyond.
To sports now, and the WICB selection panel names 2 uncapped players in the West Indies women's squad for the upcoming Antigua camp from March 7 to 20. Grenadian all-rounder 23-year-old Akira Peters and Shanisha Hector, a 17-year-old right-arm fast bowler from Antigua, have been named in the team preparing for the ICC World Cup in England later this year. The camp will be coached by Vasper Drakes. And here's a look at the squad.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's the celebration of agriculture, 50 years and beyond. Come and experience this year's AgroFest exhibition at the historic Queen's Park on February 24th to 26th.
Box offices: Barbados Agricultural Society, Roberts Manufacturing Feed Store, Clear Vision Optical, Massey Stores Barbados Limited, Worthing, Sunset Crest, Oystons and Sky Mall, Massey Stores Home, Sheraton and Pierhead, Cape Shepherd Broad Street, Waterworld Pet Shop, Jordan's Complex Spikestown, Ticket Centre, Massey Supercentre Warrings. Be there.
In regional news, Haiti has a new prime minister. He's Dr. Jacques-Guy Lafontaine, a professor of gastroenterology at the Faculty of Medicine and Pharmacy of the University of Haiti. He replaces Ines John Charles, who resigned earlier this month to allow President Jovenel Moïse to appoint a new prime minister. Lafontaine's first order of business is to elect a new cabinet and present his policies before Parliament can be confirmed. On the international scene, in the United States, President Donald Trump revokes a measure in public schools that permits transgender students to use bathrooms matching their gender identity. The directive, issued by his predecessor Barack Obama, was hailed as a victory for transgender rights in some quarters, while critics argue that the move threatened the privacy and safety of other students. We get details now in this CNN report.
You know, they basically are sending the directive back to the states to make these own decisions, Anderson. But it's not without controversy, even here at the White House. But we do have a first look at a White House statement that will be coming out shortly. It says this. It says, as President Trump has clearly stated, he believes the policy regarding transgender bathrooms should be decided at the state level. The joint decision made today by the Department of Justice and the Department of Education returning power to the states paves the way for an open and inclusive process to take place at the local level with input from parents, students, teachers, and administrators. But again, Anderson, this is a big deal. It's weighing in on social issues, which we've not seen the president do a lot. And indeed, it is even controversial inside his own cabinet.
And on that note, we end our afternoon update, but there's more news and sports online at www.barbadosday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper or email updates, or you can like us on Facebook. And of course, if you're moving around Barbados today on this blessed afternoon, you can check us out on Izumi Media in bus terminals or in Screenplay in a supermarket or a gas station near you. We're also on Channel 99, that's on Flow TV, or Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Kmar Jordan. Have a fabulous afternoon, and be sure to join us back here around 6 o'clock this evening for our next update.